All right. We'll get started here in just a second. Going to test the audio. Yep. All right. I'm going to talk about the bike in just a second, but first we're going to just take it out of the box because we need to conserve this packaging because this is a bike we will be sending back. Are you ready?
Are we picking up the bike or taking this one?
Picking the bike. Ready? It's going to get stuck. Oh, hang on. All right. Just easily set down.
This tire is flat.
Yeah, they both are. All right. Good deal. Yep. If you could take everything out of the box and. All right. So just a second, I'll talk a little bit more about the bike, but I wanted to get it out of the box quickly.
Whoa.
And this is going to be a fun review, without a doubt. All right. So this is the Wagon Hydra. And as you can see, full suspension electric bike here. And surprisingly, it was just that piece of foam, some foam around the fork and down here, and bike arrived in really good condition.
It is beautiful.
It's a nice matte green here.
Yeah, that is pretty.
And yeah, so Wagons is a company which obviously focuses on really powerful mid-drive electric bikes. And I'm going to try to bring up the specs here because it has been a while since I've actually looked into the bike. So they sell the Hydra in the Hydra Black. The Hydra, what you see here, starts at $6,500. And then they have a more affordable Hydra Black, which starts at $48.99. And there's some customizations that you can get on this bike. And Wagons was nice enough to send us this bike for review. So obviously, e-mountain bike. And yeah, this is going to be a fun one to test out on the trails. That's why I'm personally very excited about this one. Hey, Pedro, is this the most premium bike you've reviewed? Let's see. I'm thinking price-wise, yes. We did review the Serial 1 electric bikes, which I believe at the time their top-end model was $5,000, and it has increased in price. So that one's probably pretty close. I'm not sure what they're priced at now. I have ridden a more expensive e-mountain bike. We rode the top-of-the-line Trek, trying to remember the name of that one, but it had the wireless shifting and everything on it. And that was a very nice electric bike. This one obviously comes in at a little bit more of a more affordable price. And so they allow you to upgrade to the Archon controller on this, which then the motor peaks at 2,300 watts, if I'm not mistaken, which of course is just a massive amount of power. So really excited to check this one out. I'm not sure if I will be able to negotiate any special deal, but if you're watching this after the fact, be sure to check out the link in the description. And if there is a deal, if I'm able to work something out with them, I will post it there. And yeah, if this is a opportunity. I see we have a handful of people. So if you have any questions, this is the perfect time to ask me about any electric bike that I've reviewed or I'm going to review, or if you're purchasing an electric bike. That's really why I do these. Just thought it would be fun, and it's been a fair bit of time since I've done a live unboxing. I'm just gonna open the charger here, and of course, in our full review, we will I'll go through all the details on this bike, go through all the specs. I'll be, of course, a little bit more familiar with the bike at that time. Just kind of curious what kind of charger they give you with this bike. And it looks like we have to install some handlebars, front wheel, pretty usual stuff here. All right. Okay, so we just have the standard charger that we see on many electric bikes, though it does have a different connector. So this is looks like a 2.8 amp charger here. And then it has these two different connectors, which I haven't seen before. So that'll be interesting, and it'll help me remember what charger it's for, or bike it's for, rather. All right, and then what do we have here? It's a Physique box, which is the brand of the saddle. Oh, wow. Okay, very cool. All right, so here it looks like this plugs into the charger, and then this is actually the cable that plugs into the bike. And I'm not sure if this is standard, but they give you some really nice Crank Brothers stamp one. These are nice mountain bike pedals. So that's really cool if those are included with everyone. And then, of course, we have some keys. All right, I think, I think we should get started here. Maybe the bike is sitting well, so maybe we'll throw on the handlebars quick. And we'll see how this goes. Got my ratchet set here. We'll take off the stem face plate. Just a second here. All right, smaller size. So I don't know where everyone is tuning in from, but our weather lately has been absolutely wonderful. Been doing lots of riding, not just on e-bikes. Oh, this is a star bit up front. I think I might have that here. Ooh, yeah, okay, good. Could have been a not so exciting unboxing if I couldn't get the handlebars on. So Wagons is definitely a smaller company, kind of focusing on these really customized, more premium electric bikes. And so I am just so curious how this is going to ride. Just looking at it, I think the frame design is really nice looking. Really nice, like smooth welds. Cables look pretty integrated. The whole frame just looks absolutely overbuilt. So it's a heavy electric bike. I think it probably weighs over 70 pounds. I'm sure the spec is online. Again, mid-drive. Again, if you're watching this live and you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments section. And in the description, I have a link to Wagon's website if you kind of want to take a look at the bike and look at some of the specs for yourself. All right. So if you weren't already aware, I very much enjoy mountain biking, usually on a human-powered or more human-powered bike, not an electric e-mountain bike. And that's why I reached out to Wagons to put together this review, because I thought it would be a ton of fun. Trying to take off the packaging with care, because I will need to reuse this when I send the bike back. All right. And handlebars here. Bafang display. And let's see. Looks like there's no bolts on the display. I'm not sure. I wonder if those. Interesting. I feel like this display kind of has to go into the. Oh, here we go. Maybe it has to be centered a little bit more there. I'm not sure actually how this display is supposed to go on here. So I'm going to go ahead and just put the handlebars on. So these are P&W handlebars, which is a brand I am familiar with. Make lots of mountain bike products. Sticking with the high-end theme, I guess, if you will, on this bike. Looks like a Pro taper stem, not a brand I'm familiar with, though may or may not be well known. Some Schwalbe mountain bike tires on here. Giant rotors. I think those are 203 millimeter rotors. And Dior XT shifter up here. And I think these are Magura hydraulic brakes. So very, very high-end bike here. Now what I'm going to do with these handlebars is just kind of get them tight enough so that they're not moving around, and because I will need to definitely adjust them. And so if you're watching this after the fact or even now, if there's any questions that come to mind, we'll look back at this live stream and try to answer them during our full review, of course. I think this will be our first true e-mountain bike review. So I am certainly excited for it. All right, I think next I'm going to, looks like we got some other parts here. Some cabling. All right, I think we're gonna put on the front wheel now. And just looking to see, looks like the through axle is already on there. All right, we got a bubble wrapped front rotor, massive rotor here. It's crazy. All right, so let's see. These are, just looking for the sizing on these. Schwalbe, oh, here there. So these are 27.5 by 2.8. And I did see another comment there. I'll check that in just a second. All right. Let's see. Whatever happened with the Hemingway Cruiser that had a split in the battery case? Oh, good question, Steve. All right, so with that bike, Hemingway did send another battery, and I have not gotten around to the review. That bike, after the fact, I also noticed had a the rear mount for the rear rack was actually welded improperly, meaning I can't attach the rear rack without it coming in contact with the tire. I did reach out to Hemiway, and I think they may have forgotten about it. And I've had so many other reviews that I haven't really pressed the issue. And obviously the Hemiway Cruiser at this point has been around for some time. And so I just haven't prioritized it. But I do have a Hemiway Zebra. And so I will be doing a live unboxing of that bike. And we'll see how that bike can perform. I still want to do the Cruiser one. It's just a little bit frustrating that it was welded in properly. And I mean, I don't think there's really any other fix for it beyond the fact that they send me a new frame, which they might be reluctant to do so. But once we get going on the Hemiway Zebra, I'll reach back out to them and ask about what they want me to do with that bike. I can do the review without the rear rack, obviously, but I would assume if someone was a customer, I would hope they would, at that point, either warranty the frame and send you a new bike or take care of you in some other way. So that's the story with the Hemiway Cruiser. But I am excited to check out the Zebra that they have. Just trying to get the right size here for the through axle here. Again, I think we're good here. This is nice and loose. So this is a Diamond E2 DVO front fork. Not a brand that I am personally familiar with, so I'll be curious how that performs. All right, and we do have two spacers up front for the disc brakes. Again, hydraulic disc brakes for something that puts out so much power. I would assume they're 4-piston brakes, would be my guess. All right, let's see if we can get this front wheel on. The tires are flat, which isn't very common when I get electric bikes, so I'll have to pump those up. All right. Again, this is going to be a little bit easier with two people, just because it's a heavier bike. I will do my best here. Get that rotor aligned. Of course, if you had in a stand, it would be easier as well. Just a little bit tricky to see here. Let's see if I can do it this way. And also trickier because the front wheel. I'd recommend if you're assembling this electric bike, again, I'm not a bike mechanic, but my recommendation would be to pump up the tire first. And actually, I might have to do that still. I think it's going to make my life a little bit easier. So I'm just, there we go, actually. All right. So through axle, instead of a bolt, or instead of like a bolt-on axle or a quick release, it says to torque this to 10 Newton meters. Probably pretty important to do that. Okay. All right. Again, you don't get a kickstand on this bike because it is a true mountain bike. Again, we got the massive Bafang motor here. Got some plastic on this side. All right. Looks like same branded of the Diamond rear suspension. At least the branding looks very similar. DBO. To definitely do some more digging on that. And you do have a through axle in the rear as well. Shimano Dior XT in the rear. All right, I got some controls here. We got a, go up, there we go. We got a dropper seat post. All right, so I'm actually think I'm going to pump up the tires quick. Let's see if I can get the bike to stand on its own. Again, it's pretty heavy here. Temporarily, we'll see. Maybe not. Maybe I can use the foam here to keep the bike a little bit straighter. All right, we'll go with that. I'm gonna go get my pump. Again, if you are just joining us, feel free to ask any questions. That's why I'm here. I know watching someone assemble an electric bike might not be the most exciting thing, but I have to assemble them anyway. So, and for the people who are actually considering this electric bike, I mean, it's good to get a closer look. I really like this Topic double barrel pump. Really nice for fat tire e-bikes. All right, we're just going to go around 20 PSI for now. Obviously, I will get this bike dialed in for riding. Before I take it out for a spin. All right, let's see. Too pricey, yeah. You know, for the true mountain biker though, you'd be surprised how much people spend on their mountain bikes. I want to say that I should look at the specs here on this bike. Full suspension, carbon fiber frame. So yeah, it's high end, and you can get the Hydra Black if you don't want the carbon fiber version. So, but yeah, I totally understand that. It might not be for everyone, but don't want the bike to fall over. Again, we'll just put enough air on here to. Got the speed sensor back here for the display, and I would imagine there's a shift sensor, but it's not built into this cabling. Again, all internally routed cables here. I'm trying to see if they actually. It looks like they come out just here underneath by the motor here. There's a nice protector here, really like that. Keep the keep the frame looking really nice. All right, I think I can finish up the handlebars. And we'll need that star bit. this lined up as best I can. All right, I'm actually going to stand over the bike and try to get a sense of where these handlebars should be. Just, well, that looks pretty good. Try them there. You know, most of these cables are actually coming in on the left side of the bike. There's just the one here on the right. Looks like that's for the dropper seat post. All right. Kind of curious how stiff the suspension feels. Looks like there's some adjustment here. Obviously, I am a pretty lightweight rider, but this feels plenty plush. Again, you got that rear suspension as well. All right. I'm not sure where the screws are for this display. Seems like it would go around the stem here. Let's see. There we go. So do get the display there. I'm not sure how you can tighten that because these handlebars are actually pretty thick here. So I'll have to reach out to Wagons about that. Let's see. I think we can do. Curious. Oh, that rear suspension feels really nice as well. I don't know what the travel is on this. Again, I'll have to look at the specs, but all right, let's go ahead and throw these Crank Brothers pedals on here. We'll need my snips here. Which Bafang motor is this, and what's the price tag? All right, so the Hydra starts at I just want to make sure I get it right. 6,500. And I'm just going to spec it out because I don't know exactly. Single color adds $150. Matte black is not anything additional. Let's see. The Wagons tuned to class 3 with just one battery. Let's see. And these are 27.5 by, I think I said 2.6. So that adds cost. I'm assuming this is the 11-speed extra wheel set. No. Suspension. This is the DVO Diamond D2 and the Topaz T3 Air. Dropper post. I'm assuming this is the Crank Brothers. It looks like it's actually the PNW. I don't see that option on the dropper. So it looks like some of these selections are slightly different. Magura MT5E, I think these are the brakes with 203 millimeter rotors. Crank Brothers, no lights on here. So as this bike is about $7,000, just shy. And yeah, and this has the Archon X1 controller. So 2,300 watts peak. And I want to make sure, so this is the Bafang Ultra motor, 48 volt, 880 watt hours, 18,650 cells, and torque is 120 to 230 Newton meters. I'm not sure what the difference is there. And yeah, that gives you like a base idea of cost. So hopefully that's helpful. All right, I'm gonna get these pedals on here. All and let's see, these should be marked somewhere, right and left. This is the right one. So that's going to thread on normally and righty-tighty. Do have bottle cage bosses down here. I'm just going to go with that for now. Again, a bit trickier because I don't have the bike in the stand. Here's the other pedal here. I've actually never tried these pedals, so I'm pretty excited to give these a shot. And the left pedal is going to be reverse thread. And I will need my tools. To put these pedals all the way on. It's the right size. So I feel like this is one of those e-mountain bikes where you want more battery and you don't want to compromise at all on power. I've actually never been on a Bafang Ultra, or I don't think I've been on any Bafang mid-drive motor yet, so I'm excited for that as well. I believe the Bafang Ultra is kind of their tried and true, been around for a while, and so I will be very curious. Of course, very well-known brand. All right, pedals are on. Very cool. All right, and of course we have the battery integrated, nicely painted here, which I really like. Power button on the right here. Might have to use the keys up. No, turns on. Nice color display. Brakes feel really good as they should for this quality. Left-hand thumb throttle, again, that's probably going to be one of the biggest differences when you're looking at this bike compared to others. And actually, the throttle was not installed, so I'm going to go ahead and plug that in. It just wasn't plugged in, rather. And yeah, I think it's going to be an absolute blast to take this bike out. I am super excited. Looks like they used P&W components like throughout this. This is the P&W dropper post. And they got the handlebars, obviously. I think these are, yeah, these aren't P&W grips or anything like that. But so yeah, very excited for this one. Let's see if anyone has anything else to say. I think we're probably going to wrap this one up pretty soon. So this is a much better buy than what a buddy of mine has. He spent $9,000 on a Specialized Levo. Rides good, but is gutless. Weak output and highly expensive proprietary battery with low amp hour capacity. So I think this bike, having ridden some of the other brands of e-mountain bikes, they don't give you so much power. of course, with the motors, 250 watts. So it's like, it's just enough to just make you feel a little bit more powerful climbing hills. You're still going to get a workout. At least that was my experience when we rode some demo Bosch models with the Bosch mid-drive motors in California. So I think you're pretty much spot on. This bike is going to appeal to someone who really wants more power and wants to perhaps customize some of the things they want on the bike. If you were watching a little bit earlier, I went through some of the customizations that you can add. And of course, Wagons is a smaller company and direct to consumer. So you're going to save on costs. So this bike, from my early perspective, is very well spec'd for the price. I understand that it's very expensive for some people. But again, they do have a more affordable model. And if you look at other e-mountain bikes, as you just pointed out, they can get well into the $7,000-$10,000 plus range. And again, one of the challenges is you're going to have to buy that battery if you need one from whatever manufacturer. I'm assuming that this battery pack, I can actually remove it. There's a good chance that this battery pack is going to not be proprietary. Of course, it could be. Maybe a question I should ask. All right, so we got to go open, and then there's a clip here. Okay, all right. So there's a cover, really like that. Helps it keep the battery locked in place, and waterproofing wise as well. And then, so we have this battery here, and this is I'm going to see if I can find a brand on this. I don't see a specific brand, but it's 48 volts, 17.5 amp hour. This battery pack, I'm almost willing to bet, is manufactured by the same or very similar company as the Uniro all-wheel drive. Has the same handle on it. This is bigger capacity, so I'm going to guess that you would be able to perhaps find this from a different manufacturer. So that's pretty cool. And then of course you can add the dual battery, it looks like, with their bike as well. So yeah, this is a bike that's definitely new for the channel, at least covering this type of e-mountain bike. And so let's see, got a lock. Of course, I think it should be locked here. I might have to figure this. Oh, I see. That just slides up. Okay, so the battery locks that way. And then this cover is an additional kind of latching mechanism. So that's how that works. So that's pretty cool. I actually kind of like that. So yeah, super fun looking bike. Let's see. How many e-bikes do you own? I have no idea. I want to say maybe 20 to 30 would be my guess. And I'm not 100% sure. There's some, as I've told other folks who have asked this question or similar questions, some we decide to sell and others we decide to keep just for potential comparison purposes, being able to have the old model when a new model comes out. And so we keep some of those bikes around. More so some of the models from the more popular brands as opposed to some of the one-off companies and things like that. So yeah, it's a lot of bikes. It's a bit overwhelming at times with the amount of batteries that we need to keep tabs on and chargers. But I can't complain for sure. I always have a new e-bike to ride and review. And we will be out with some new reviews coming up. We have the Electric XP Lite, $799 for that bike. So I'm excited for that review, likely within the next couple of days. We have the U-Free City Robin that's going to be coming out likely next week. And like I said, we have the Hemingway. We still have the Rattan. I'm still working with them. It seems like the battery on that bike was something was wrong with the battery, so we're working on getting a replacement. We have the KBO Ranger. That review will be out in the coming weeks as well. It's a cargo electric bike, so excited for that one. And then, of course, we'll be going mountain biking and testing out this bike. And I'm pretty pumped about this one. So we should be able to keep this bike around for a month or so. So we should get some pretty good perspectives on how it rides, how it feels, whether it feels like too much power and things like that. So, all right, I'll give everyone one more minute if you have any other questions, but really appreciate everyone joining us. Of course, you can check out eventually in the description. I'll put links to some of our popular resources pages. And if you're looking to buy an electric bike from any of the brands that we work with, you can simply click the link, and it really helps us continue to review electric bikes. So really appreciate that. And I think that's it. Thanks everyone for your questions. Thanks for joining me. I know this is an unusual bike for us to be reviewing, or just different. I know not everyone is into mountain bikes, and so we're excited to get into it and share it with you all. So if this isn't your cup of tea, we'll have other reviews of the normal price ranges and e-bikes that we review. So let me know in the comment section whether you're interested in bikes like this. So, all right, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.